Hey everybody, Mike here with iSMELL. Hope this video is finding you well, that you are smelling great and feeling amazing. Today we are going to be teaming up with the homie Dedrick Hicks Jr., an amazing content creator coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. So here's how it's gonna work. Here in a second, I'm gonna hand it off on over to Dedrick. He's gonna discuss his 5 favorite spring fragrances right now. He'll kick it off back to me and then I'll do the same. Collectively, this is going to be a top 10 list for spring 2022. In the spirit of not rambling though, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off over to Dedrick. I'll see y'all back here in a few.
YouTube, what's going on? What's going on, YouTube? First of all, shout out to my man's iSMELL. Shout out Mike, man. I really appreciate the thought, man, to want to have me on your channel to collab with these springtime fragrances, man. So I have my 5, Mike got his 5, man. So this top 10 is gonna be really dope. So I'm really looking forward to it. Shout out to you, Mike, again, man. Like I said, man, just, you know, one of my fragrance bros in the community, and just appreciate the look. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, these are my 5, and it was hard. And it's kind of crazy because I'm wearing a hoodie right now because it's, you know, 40 something degrees out here in Florida in March. So but you know, in the afternoons it gets a lot more heated. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my 5. I'm not going to waste too much time on Mike's channel, but I think you guys will dig these for sure. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Up first for me, at number 5, I guess, we have from the house of Giorgio Armani, we have the limited edition Profondo Lights. All right, Profondo Lights. Very dope scent for the springtime. You know, you get that that Acqua di Gio DNA, you know, that whole aquatic, somewhat, you know, fresh, spicy, aromatic type of vibe with this fragrance here. Now the thing about this, if you can get your hands on it, get it. Rumors of it being discontinued are alive and well. Here where I live in Florida, you can't even get it in the store. So if you're looking for something light, fresh with a classic DNA, something that's going to live and give you some good projection in this springtime weather, definitely look into Profondo Lights from the house of Giorgio Armani. Really love this stuff. I just purchased this, actually caught on the sale at my local Macy's. All right, next up, from the house of Chanel. Yes, sir. One of my favorite lines from the house of Chanel, we have Allure Homme Edition Blanche. All right, that special edition. People compare it to lemon meringue pie, and I get that. Haven't smelled this one in a while, and it's so good. You know, you get the lemon, you get the vanilla. There is some tonka bean and some sandalwood in here as well that gives it that creaminess. But overall, this is just a goodie for the spring. You can get away with it in summer as well, but for the springtime, this is where most of my wares will be coming from this fragrance. Absolutely adore it. They don't have them in retailers like that, so you're gonna have to go online to chanel.com to get it. Comes in a dope presentation and everything. Just a dope, nice, kind of gourmandish fragrance for the springtime. You don't really get them like that, but it's true. This is a gourmandish vibe for the springtime for sure. Chanel does it again. Those people just don't miss over there. So from the house of Chanel, we have Allure Homme Edition Blanche, aka the lemon meringue pie, fragrance. All right, moving along to possibly my favorite scent of spring, probably all time. I really love this stuff. Got it on an excellent deal last year. Big fan of the house. From the house of John Varvatos, I call it Johnny V. We got Artisan. Love this bottle. One of the dopest bottles ever. One of the dopest bottles ever with that basket type knitting. But anyway, this is the epitome of spring. You have clementine and tangerine with a touch of amber down in the base that's going to give it a little bit of sweetness, that's going to accompany with some musk as well, and it's just going to bubble up all of this citrus goodness, man. Little floral intakes as well that kind of pushes off your skin. If the sun is out just right, it's going to heat it up just enough off your skin to give it some solid projection. You know, the knock on Johnny V's is they don't last long. But what I find is in the summer and the spring, when you get that sun out and the temperatures are up, It cooks decent on your skin and provides a little bit more longevity than the winter cold fragrances from the John Varvatos line. So looking at this one, it is an excellent pickup. If you can get it on discounts for a solid price, get it. I know the Artisan Pure thing is out there, and I don't want to say they are rivals, but you know, in some cases I enjoy this more than Artisan Pure, which I love. So if you're looking for a more I won't say mass appealing, but more complimentary fragrance, go with this one. It won't miss. Springtime is great. From the house of John Varvatos, we have Artisan. Love this stuff, man. All right, 2 more on my list, and then we'll be kicking it back over to Mike. So at number 4 on this list, we have from the house of Armaf. The house of Armaf, we have Club de Nuit's Milestone. All right, Club de Nuit's Milestone. Get a look at that bottle. This coppered out gold type of rose gold bottle. Hefty, y'all know the Armaf bottles, but the juice inside this thing is a direct replica clone of Creed's Ménécil Impérial. All right, so I'm gonna put the bottle right up here. Creed's Ménécil Impérial Milestone. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy Milestone better. The Ménécil Impérial is much smoother for sure, but in the summertime, I don't really think smooth fragrances matter because you're not thinking about that. You know, you're trying to get on something refreshing, and with this, you get this aquatic notes, red fruits, bergamot. It's just a beautiful scent, and when the sun gets on this, especially in the spring during the day, man, it's just a beautiful situation. You can rock this all spring and summer, but I like this more in the springtime, and I really dig it for sure. All right, so from the house of Armaf, Club de Nuit's Milestone. All right, and last but not least, from the house of Mancera, we have Mancera's Aqua Wood. All right, Aqua Wood. Really love this stuff. You get an abundance of pear up top, mixed with some citruses as well. Down in the base, you get some amber, you get some musk, so you get like a tad of an incense patchouli type of vibe. It kind of dirties up in the base, but it all holds together as a nice, fresh, I don't want to say this is a light, probably moderate type fragrance for the springtime. Once again, some heat gets on this and it's going to do you really good. All right, but I love this stuff. You know, Mancera is the introductory niche line. I don't really get into all of that. I'm into what smells good, and I know what quality is for sure, and this is quality. You want something from the spring that's going to make you smell a little bit different than the others? Looking at this, from the house of Mancera, we have Aqua Wood. This is a good springtime fragrance for sure. All right, that's my time. I'm going to kick it back over to Mike. Mike, thank you once again for having me on. I really truly appreciate it, and look forward to watching the rest of the video when you're done with it. All right, man, y'all take care, YouTube.
Thank you, Dedrick, for sharing some of your favorite spring fragrances for 2022. I had no doubt you were going to come with the bangers, and you absolutely did that. In all honesty, I'm a little ashamed to admit that I have still yet to smell Chanel Edition Blanche. That's a fragrance I need to get my nose on like ASAP. But I'm not going to keep y'all here too long. I'm going to hop into my first fragrance. Fragrance number 1 is a certified classic. Released in 1993, it's a fragrance that's going to compete and in many cases even beat many of the more modern releases that people will be reaching for spring weather. Fragrance number 1 comes from the house of Chanel, and the name of the fragrance is Platinum Egoise. I'm not going to get too deep into this fragrance right now, as I do intend to do a full and in-depth review. What I will say right now is that if you were a fan or grew up liking Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, I am fairly confident you're going to enjoy this fragrance as well. Platinum Egoise is in and of itself a green, masculine, woody fragrance that wears like a classic fougere. It does have many bitter green notes. It's going to include lavender, rosemary, oak moss, as well as a smooth and spicy sandalwood. This is a fragrance that costs about $120 full retail across the board. It doesn't matter if you pick it up at a retailer or discounter. Chanel fragrances are not going to be heavily discounted. Be on the lookout for a full review of this fragrance. Definitely a fragrance that you could use as a signature scent for spring, one that I'm going to be wearing a ton this spring, Chanel Platinum Egoise. Okay, so fragrance number 2 is going to be pretty much in line with Dedrick's thinking, whereas he showcased Profondo Lights. The one I'm going to be featuring is Acqua di Gio Profondo. This one right here is a signature worthy Dumb Reach spring weather fragrance. What I like about this fragrance is you get a little bit of everything. At its core, yes, it is a blue take on the aquatic Acqua di Gio DNA, but they also threw green facets in there as well. Notable notes in terms of green notes that you're gonna expect with this fragrance is going to include a green mandarin, cypress, patchouli, as well as rosemary. A 2.5 ounce of Acqua di Gio Profondo is gonna cost you somewhere in the ballpark of $70 to $100. If that is too high for your liking, just know there are alternatives in the market, a very popular one being Chrome Extreme. Nonetheless, if you want a non-offensive, safe, easy to wear, fresh and clean fragrance with a high likability factor, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a better option than Acqua di Gio Profondo. Definitely a fragrance that I'm gonna be wearing a ton this spring at the number 2 spot, Acqua di Gio Profondo. Very few fragrances have the ability to transport you somewhere else as much as this next one. This one is the epitome of April showers brings May flowers. Fragrance number 3 comes from the house of Zaharoff, and the name of the fragrance is Signature Rosé. I'm gonna tell you right out the gate that Signature Rosé is going to be the most expensive out of all the fragrances I talk about today. It clocks in at right around the $145 price point. That's before taxes and or shipping, so it is a little bit costly, but that price point is justified when you consider how beautifully crafted the scent profile is, even if the fragrance itself expresses itself rather simplistically. I included it in this list because this opening specifically transports me to a rose garden on a cool, crisp spring morning when the dew is still sitting on the ground. This fragrance is beautiful. It is a floral rose fragrance at its very essence, but this fragrance opens up cool, crisp, effervescent, translucent, vibrant, and full of life. It is a beautiful fragrance in every sense of the word. I just got it for Christmas, so I have not been able to test it for spring as of yet, but it is a fragrance that I definitely am going to be wearing for spring weather, specifically when I'm drawn into myself and feeling introspective. Definitely a fragrance you should at least sample. George Zaharoff sells 5 milliliter decants on his website. Nonetheless, it's a fragrance that I will be wearing very much so for spring at the number 3 spot, Signature Rosé. Listen, I get $140 is going to be too steep of a price point for a lot of people. If you fall under that bracket, then this next fragrance might be more up your speed. Fragrance number 4 comes from Sammy Andreas, and the name of the fragrance is Green Sapphire. So in the case of Green Sapphire, what you are getting is a direct reinterpretation and accurate clone of a $300 niche fragrance from Bond number 9 called Bleecker Street. Mind you, you can get Green Sapphire, a 30 ml bottle, for right around $30. At that price point, it's absolutely highway robbery. In terms of what you're smelling, you are going to be getting one of the more iconic scent profiles for spring weather currently available on the market. Don't feel too bad though, because a lot of people seem to think that Bleecker Street itself is a glorified clone of Ralph Lauren's Purple Label. I can't confirm this, but that is a very popular rumor that Bond number 9 itself is a glorified niche house. This is going to be a bitter, fresh, and earthy green fragrance that wears like a bar of Irish Spring soap. It smells sharp, but it also smells clean. Some people akin it to fresh cut grass. The atomizer on all of Sammy's fragrances are absolute fire hydrants. Smells great. This fragrance smells absolutely great, you guys. I just checked Sammy's website before I did this review, and currently he does still have bottles of Green Sapphire available. Again, that price point is $30. This fragrance lasts a very long time, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there are almost no differences. It's virtually indistinguishable from each other. If you want to access a niche style scent profile at an accessible and very cost-effective price point, then definitely check out Green Sapphire from Sammy Andreas. Okay, last but certainly not least, and when I say certainly, I absolutely mean it, is a fragrance that I've been in love with since the moment I first smelt it. There was no way in hell this fragrance was not gonna make my spring list. Fragrance number 5 comes from the house of Banana Republic. It is 1/5 of their icon line. Some of y'all know where I'm going with this. The name of this fragrance is Vintage Green 78. Banana Republic Vintage Green 78 is a bittersweet green fragrance with floral and musky undertones in the dry down. I've said this before, and I stand by the statement that the best way I know how to describe this fragrance is that it is a cup of green tea garnished with both honey and lemon. The notable notes on this fragrance is going to include a very bitter and piney bergamot note. You're going to get earthy green tea leaves. You get a fig note that comes across as honeyed, and then you get a lemony magnolia floral note. Every single one of these fragrance notes plays together beautifully. I absolutely love this fragrance. Like, I legit love this fragrance. You guys. The perfumer that created this one is Nico Percantino. He is the same guy that created Curly Scents, the Siren. So he does know how to develop a very quality fragrance. You can pick this one up at rack stores for about $20 to $30. Again, at this price, it's an absolute steal. If you see it in the rack stores, scoop it up or just leave them there. More from me, great. But I do recommend this fragrance. It's awesome for spring weather. Last but not least, Banana Republic Vintage Green 78. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up the list. Those are 10 fragrances collectively that both Dedrick and I plan on wearing heavily for spring 2022. I want to thank Dedrick for teaming up to do this collaboration with me. Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate it. I hope this is the first of many collaborations in the future. If you enjoy fragrance-related content, if you found value in this video, do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel. Listen, it takes like 2 seconds. Just click the button. It's free dollars. It doesn't cost you anything. I certainly do appreciate it. And while you're there, go ahead and head on over to Dedrick's channel and do the same. I really do love and appreciate all the support. Y'all stay tuned. Until next time, you guys. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Bye.